Let me try that again. That was messed up. All right. I melt God's mirror into a liquid, which I use as my ink, so I can make a poem in God's image. And then I skin off the surface of Gabriel's horn and flatten it into my paper, so I have an infinite surface area to write on. And so I write the Sanskrit words of the Upanishads in beautiful Arabic calligraphy, attracting the reader to truth. And when I run low on ink, I'll mix that mirror liquid with oil. But not just any oil, oil that's so far underground that only Osiris could fetch it for me, so that even before the ink touches the page, you already know it's used to being deep. And so I take a seat under the Bodhi tree and quickly copy down what Buddha dictates to me, because Buddha would be the greatest dictator this world has ever seen. And so I write essays about pacifism using only 4 letters, A, T, C, and G, giving DNA polymerase the genetic sequence to bring peace to life. And then I translate that code into zeros and ones, creating unsolvable passwords on computers that control nuclear missiles. Oh, and by the way, I use a lightning bolt as my pen, causing my ink to catch on fire. And so I get this burning sensation of writing pyroglyphics, leaving behind burning words that are like stars that run on solar energy. They never stop shining. So whenever a reader reads my words, they will be enlightened, looking into the light as their eyes accept their death on this funeral pyre of words, making them cyclopses with their third eye open, so they no longer see colors, labels, and religions, just spirits, realizing that the pages of the Quran and Torah are made out of the same piece of wood from the tree of knowledge that's sculpted into a cross or a pagan deity, because divinity knows no religion. And when you realize this, we can go inches further than Adam ever did and touch the finger of God, making the final connection with the divinity we were always a part of. And I'll write this poem in a jail cell in Babylon. But when I look out the window at the Tower of Babel, I'll write the truth about it, saying it's a ziggurat, and the Babylonians believed it brought you closer to God, and hey, sometimes some people want to be a little closer to God. So if they found that at the top of a pyramid, that's fine. But see, what's wrong with Babylon is they put an eye on top of that pyramid and make it a diagram of their social structure, which is based on the economic imprisonment of their own humankind. And when those same Babylonians tell me they're going to free me, I'll tell them to stop and go back, because true independence can only be independently gained. So I'll be my own liberation force. My mind will be the general, and when it feels like it's necessary, it'll raise my arm, and grasp the pen with my hand and fire, leaving wet ink on pages, giving birth to infant thoughts, young enough to join my infant tree. But they're just infant trees, so I teach them, enlightening their leaves with knowledge and watering their roots with wisdom until they grow up into adult trees, committing adultery, cheating on my paper by using my vocal cords to have oral intercourse with listening ears. See, this is the conception of inspiration and its successive birth in your minds and on my page. So when I'm done with this poem, I'll squeeze the pigment out of every human skin cell and mix it into a concoction which I'll use as my glue, because when it gets down to it, those colors will stick together. And I'll use this adhesive to glue my final page to the back of Brahman, so I know it can never be taken apart. See, this is the writing process, and this is the reason why I always bow my head when I'm writing.